No one's watching. We rolling? All right. Hello and welcome to another reaction video from Toronto, the Toronto International Film Festival here in Toronto. This time we're going to take a look in Vancouver. Could be anywhere. Anyway, this time we're going to do a reaction video to a small known film, little known film that had a gala premiere here, I think yesterday, it might have been today, I can't remember. It's called The Headhunter's Calling and it stars Gerard Butler as a headhunter who is a bit of a renegade, a bit of a career man that puts his life and soul into his job, but neglects his family, and which becomes a problem when his son is diagnosed with cancer, which isn't a spoiler because that's very early on in the film. So he has priorities at home and more so at work because he's just been given the opportunity to get a promotion. All he has to do is deliver the goods in the next 3 months to get the managing director's role at his big law firm, recruitancy firm in downtown Chicago. Is that about right?
That's about right. You like this film a bit more than I like this film.
Yeah.
My problem is that the idea is that it's taking a flawed sort of protagonist who is not showing enough time to his wife, to his kids. He's too obsessed with work. Obviously, his child gets cancer, and but it turns into a story all about him. It's all about how can this turn him around and realise actually he does love his family. So there's a dying kid, and it's all about, oh no, I've just realised that I probably should pay attention to my wife. And and also at the beginning of the film, he does things like he calls his kid fat. His son's about 6.
That was funny.
It wasn't funny. He was rude. He was going up to him and going, "We're going to take you for a jog." He was fat because I'm sorry, no. I felt that he was too horrible early on. Yeah. That by the end I didn't just go, "Oh, you're all right now. I like you now because your son got cancer and therefore you care about your family. So now I think you're a great bloke." Don't think so, Gerard. Don't think so. Yeah.
Anyway, also in the film you've got Willem Dafoe, who is a guy that manages to, I don't think he steals the film, but he's got a very outlandish performance, hasn't he? He's very, not flamboyant, but very strong, very matter of fact, very much, he doesn't like anyone that doesn't line his pockets with cash. I quite liked him in it. I thought did an effective, job. I'm not really seeing him do something like that for a little while.
Yeah, I thought his performance was really good. I think the early stage, the first kind of half an hour, the dialogue was really fast-paced and it was quite funny. And Gerard Butler was playing that kind of smooth talker who could get a deal and could headhunt anyone. And he would call up anyone on the phone and convince them over 2 minutes and sweet talk anybody into doing whatever he wants. Yeah. I did think the film thought it was slightly cooler than perhaps it was. It was it felt it had this like, hey, look how cool we are. And I thought it was, at times, a little bit too self-conscious. But no, the early stages were quite good. I just don't think it didn't do enough to then earn the emotional investment that you need for the later stages, because you need to get involved in this film emotionally. I think it's demanding that of the viewer, and I just felt that after the first the first half an hour, I didn't feel like I was in that kind of frame of mind. Conversely, I did feel though that I quite like how the shift in tone was so dramatic, because when something tragic does happen like that, you don't spend 2 weeks leading up to it feeling really like anxious and worried, because you live your normal life. You do talk about, I think he has this conversation with his wife about sex and stuff like that, and conversations with his boss about money, and he doesn't know, he can't foretell what's going to happen. And I did quite like the way the film was just quite funny. It was quite kind of pulpy. It was quite enjoyable. And then his son gets cancer, and the whole tone shifts dramatically. And I thought I quite like that because that's representative of real life, really. But that's the only thing that felt in any way realistic for me.
Yeah. There's a bit towards the end where something happens, and I'm not going to reveal it because it's obviously a spoiler. But Gerard Butler has to get someone quite quickly, and that part really didn't work for me. And then as a result of that, something happens as a result of it that you don't expect, and then it wraps it up so perfectly. It's like, that doesn't really work like that in life, no. Does it? It doesn't work like that at all, which is the polar opposite to what we were talking about the other day with La La Land. Yes. Which has different themes, but there's something that happens in that which again doesn't go the way it's supposed to, or you think it would anyway, which won't make sense to anybody because you haven't seen the films. But that's our analysis. But I actually like this one. Again, a solid 3 stars for me because I like a Gerard Butler film, and I like the character he plays in it, and I like the way it ends, even though it is a little bit cliched, a little bit over the top, and a little bit schmaltzy.
I agree with everything you said at the end of that sentence. The only bit I didn't agree with was the 3 stars bit. Okay. Yeah, 2 from me. It passes the time. I think just at a festival when there are sometimes about 15 films playing at the same time, if you sit down to choose something and it's just a bit throwaway and you're just a bit like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this, and you start thinking about what else you could have seen. I think that happened to me during this one, and I just felt like perhaps my time might have been better spelt watching something else. But to be fair, I did sit down to watch Gerard Butler's new film, so I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So that's our analysis, detailed as it always is. And that's it for this one in Toronto. We'll have some more for you later. Until then, keep it on the Hollywood news, and hey, you guys. I'm Paul Heath.
I'm Stefan Pape, thank you.
See you later.